Good evening, SpeedGaming 2. Welcome to another match of the Super Metroid Link to the Past Combo Randomizer Tournament. I'm Eleanor Lamb. I'm joined by Jagger G, and our racers are TheSabin and Cantaloupeme. Sorry, I realized I set you up to say something and then just kept on talking. So how you doing tonight?
No, that's fine. I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for this race. These are two pretty good players. One has been practicing pretty furiously on DKC2, and the other one has been playing Tetris. So I'm sure they're quite ready for this SMZ3 match. That's apparently how speedrunners prepare for their runs.
By playing different, not the same right game.
Yeah, apparently. These are pretty long-time speedrunners, though. Cantaloupeme has been going hard on Zelda for a long time, Zelda 1. And TheSabin, I guess, has been doing the Donkey Kong Country games. I'm not entirely sure. I would guess from his name he's probably ran Final Fantasy VI as well, but who knows? He probably does. Rank 1 might know a thing or two about these players.
This is a first round of the playoffs of this tournament. These two guys both went through the groups, got their 2 wins. The winner, this is a best of 1. The winner of this match goes on, the loser goes home, and the winner gets to play Pizza 34.
Nice. Delicious.
I'm fairly certain both of these guys went 2-1 in the group stage. So they each won twice and lost once. And as Jagger G pointed out, you can check out their rank ones. Rank 1 is our sponsor for this tournament. They're giving a cash prize the top 4. It's pretty awesome.
I just took a look at their profiles. They look a little bare, but some of the players have been putting in their favorite games and some of their favorite gaming moments. It's a kind of a new platform for gamers to share their interests with each other and find other streamers. Basically the hot new social media.
And we should be getting started any second now. Of course, the big question will be, will one of them gamble on blue? We'll be able to see what perhaps they think of the other runner, depending on what kind of gambles they make. If you think you're a better runner, generally you don't gamble. You just assume that you're going to win because your execution's better. So we'll see if they think they're...
Looks like they're off. Well, also with Randomizer, it's pretty much anyone's game here. Anyone can beat anyone. So long as you're not like the worst player ever, then you have a shot at beating your opponent. And this is single elimination, so.
Yep, and I would expect both these guys, definitely are not going to be the worst players ever, so it should be a good race. Both head into Link to the Past.
For sure, they're veteran speedrunners, so.
And on the floating island, we just have missiles. Nobody's ever going to pick those up.
They're saving quitting right away to just go immediately to the house. Get their 5 rupees. Cantaloupeme is diverging and going to the sanctuary, which these are two pretty common plays. One of them, TheSabin is gonna go over here. It's gonna kill this guard. This, I think, is muscle memory from A Link to the Past standalone. The tree pole is already armed with the tier 3. He gets magic out of it. That's when you kill 4 enemies and don't take damage. I didn't see if he took damage on his way. Cantaloupeme, on the other hand, is going to dive into the water and get placed in the wrong hole and drop down into a debug room where he'll get 225 rupees.
Meanwhile, TheSabin's got an energy tank and $50 from the uncle. Oh, that was a bomb drop.
Nice. Bombs and money are pretty important in the start of the game for Kakariko visit. So now with that one guard kill, TheSabin has a tier 1 tree pull prepped and ready. Looks like he's gonna check out this bush crab in between the trees here. Nope.
I never knew that was a bush crab.
Yep.
Well,
Okay, tier 1 is just fairies. It's nice, but I don't know.
Can be useful. I mean, I guess if you get some bottles in the bug net, you can get some easy safety.
Yeah, fairies can really save your butt a lot of times. And Cantaloupeme finding tier 2 tree pull is hearts. So pretty useless tree pulls, unfortunately, this seed. You want to see either money or bombs. Or red rupees, specifically.
Also, useless bush crab. It looks like the bush crab only is dropping single rupees.
Rough. There is a tier 2 of bush crab drops, but you have to collect, I think, 7 of the drops, and the 8th one will be a different one. Kinda not worth really farming.
Just some missiles in the mushroom spot, and a piece of heart in the thieves' house.
So TheSabin's hoping to find some money here in Kakariko before he has to go to the bottle vent. It's pretty easy to forget whether or not you actually bought an item from him later on. And Cantaloupeme has plenty of money.
Oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'd like to give a shout out to our tracker, Wind Fox Force 7. He's been working real hard so far. Got some bombs in the back of the tavern. Money and blind side. Ooh, Varia suit.
That's pretty good. It gives a lot of access to Norfair whenever they get more full. And boots. Real good start. So a lot of players do the trip to Houlihan to make sure they have plenty of money for both the bottle vendor and potentially for Zora later on, so they won't have to farm very much. Typically, there are a lot of money prizes in the pool, but there are so many item locations added with Super Metroid until that you never know when you're gonna get them. They could be like deep in Lower Norfair or Meridia or something, and you just might not have access to them when you're supposed to go to Zora.
Yeah, the money's a lot more spread out in this compared to just standard A Link to the Past randomizer. And one of the reasons you tend to see people do Houlihan right at the start is that setup doesn't work once you get the flippers. So if you open a chest on the way and it has the flippers, that can kind of throw your plans into mayhem. So if you're considering Houlihan, generally a lot of folks just go for it right at the start.
Yeah, there are a couple other setups that are less consistent and much more obscure. I mean, the one they do is just like you can do right away with like nothing in your inventory. Otherwise, you would need like glove, maybe boots.
Yep, all you got to do for the one that Cantaloupe did was go up into that cave that he did, and then you just jump in the water 4 times. You can actually even do it without going up in the cave, but it's a little bit trickier to pull off.
I think if you go in the cave, you only need to dive in 3 times. Otherwise, you would need 4.
Oh, I've always just been diving in 4 times. We just had I believe it was a heart container in the library. A green rupee on the race game.
Oh boy. You want to save up every dollar you can get for Zora. You'll just save that for later, I guess.
I'm curious where Sabin is going. Oh, bonk rocks.
Yep. Conveniently right next to a save and quit is these bonk rocks.
Not worth the trip.
Not much now. They do have bombs, so they can do mini Moldorm. It's a bit tricky with bombs, but you only need a few. Basically, you probably want like 5 or so, just in case, because the worms can get away from you.
Yep, mini Moldworms just as trolly as Daddy Moldworm.
You'd think they'd be easy to hit because they're everywhere all the time, but they're real squirmy and just manage to dodge bombs all the time.
And for anyone who, as we get these checks underway, who may be wondering what the heck they tuned in to watch, this is a mashup of Super Metroid and A Link to the Past. All the items between the various games are randomized between both. There are 4 spots in each game that will take you to the other game. So we get a heart container, some power bombs, another heart container. Ooh, high jump boots. That was a, I'd give that mini Moldorm Cave a pretty good mark.
Yeah, for sure. And that first heart they got was actually the Sanctuary heart, which is the only heart in the game that fully refills your health for some reason. The only heart container, rather.
Power bomb's nice. The more you can get by with 5, but you want more like 15. So you're never gonna sneeze at an early power bomb container. And high jump boots makes getting around Super Metroid a lot more fun. A lot more.
Bottle, interesting. We can turn that into Sick Kid for an item. Now, on the one hand, it's a little unfortunate that TheSabin didn't do the Houlihan strat to get some extra money for Zora. But on the other hand, Cantaloupeme doesn't have Zora money either. Either way, he is gonna arm a water walk here by dashing along the pit in one of these caves, and then just drop down to the south. And now he's dashing along the water.
Meanwhile, Cantaloupe has reset back to the house.
I'm gonna stay in logic, I see.
Green pendant on Eastern, crystals on Desert and Hera.
Meanwhile, we find Space Jump and I think that was Half Magic?
Oh, yep, yep, you got half magic. That's a big find too, wow.
It's a real good out of logic item. A pair of items, right?
Yep, the earlier you find half magic, the more useful it is. Only 10 minutes into the game, there's a lot of opportunities for them to use magic, so very helpful to find as we get more power bombs in the closet. And another bomb.
TheSabin second guessing his choice to go to Castle. Looks like he's looking elsewhere instead. Going straight to Kakariko, returning the bottle, I guess?
I mean, he doesn't know there's...
That.
Yeah, he doesn't know there's 2 bottles in play, but with 2 bottles in play, I feel like the seed is screaming, bottle kid. Of course, it's gonna be nothing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cantaloupe's heading into Eastern. Power glove. Wow.
That'll let them into the back of escape. It's kind of a nice call to second guess himself and go straight to say kid. I usually prefer to just stick to my guns and quickly make the wrong decision rather than just hesitating and making the right one. But
well, we found the powder in Eastern. We'll see what else Cantaloupe finds. I mean, he's not necessarily making the wrong choice right now because he's. I mean, you gotta do Eastern. It just depends on whether or not they can get the bow. There's a lamp
in the back of escape. That's really good. No key or map, so it's possible the Dark Cross will have important progression.
Yep, I'd expect to see SMZ3 head up the mountain with the power glove and lamp.
Pretty good.
They still don't have the morph ball, so they are limited in what they can do in Upper North Fair. That said, morph ball can be in Bubble Mountain.
Absolutely. That may be where he's thinking of going.
High jump boots were in Motorhome Cave, and mitts were on a bottle. Sick. Bottles are in the back of Sashwell's closet and Ice Rod Cave. Cantaloupes and SMZ3 quitting out of East are not going to do the dark rooms. Without a sword, they can be a real pain. That said, we know the dark rooms are logic because SMZ3 has the... Yeah, high jump boots were Mini Motorhome Cave, Pegasus boots were the back of blinds. Just to be clear on that. Getting to check Spike Rock. We'll see if there's anything exciting on it. Nope. And in it we have... SMZ3 is gonna hover for some missiles, okay.
Wow, very nicely done.
Yeah, that was
and Swaggly hovering on the way back as well. That's really that's something that's very difficult for players to get used to and to learn, because you have to only be releasing the dash button for a single frame.
And we've got red pendants on Turtle Rock and Pod, red crystals and pendants on Misery Mire and Ice Pelt.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he had fallen during that hover, I would have said this is totally not worth it for a pack of missiles. But you know what? If you're confident you can hover that and get back, I say go for it.
If nothing but for the show of it.
Meanwhile, Cantaloupe is heading down the castle dungeon, find some missiles.
And the SMZ3 does manage to get that Silva killed, so he can leave the room. And he is going into a Bubble Mountain area, looks like. I think 5 logical checks here with, well, I don't know if Space Jump puts it into logic. I mean, not Space Jump, High Jump puts it into logic. The Space Jump is a sequence broken item, though.
I do think High Jump puts it into logic. That was just an energy tank down there in Cathedral.
I'd consider getting that right now, even though you would take damage on the way.
He can't get it without the morph ball.
Oh, right. That's true. Completely forget that.
It's easy to forget. Going to Bubble Mountain without Morph Ball never feels good.
There are some items you can get by wall jumping off of them. Unfortunately, that's not one of them. In fact, most items you could get by wall jumping off them.
Meanwhile, Cantaloupe's going to show us very shortly here what is on Zelda's.
Ooh, supers.
Just $20. I hope for these guys' sake this seed is kinder than the multi-world I played the other night with HK. My morph ball was behind.
Nice. So I noticed Cantaloupeme never found the small key in the escape sequence, so it looks like the Dark Cross is just gonna have a small key today.
That'll save the runner some time. Ooh, blue mail. Blue mail's nice to find as Cantaloupe gets his glove. And there's Morph Ball at Speed Booster.
Interesting.
Still only 5 power bombs. Sabin is going to have to be careful with how he uses those. There is a danger of soft lock. Yeah, we'll see how long it takes Cantaloupe to make the check over to Bubble Mountain. I feel like it might be a little bit, he might check Blue Brin before he checks Bubble Mountain. Probably feels pretty bad getting that lamp.
Ooh,
And there's Speed Booster.
That's a real handy way to get out now. Well, you could also get the E-Tank in Cathedral as well.
Yeah, with only 2 E-Tanks, he might consider going back for that. Be interesting to see what's his play gonna be. You know, Cantaloupe's doing his Death Mountain ascent. See what's in the Norfair Reserve. Just $20 and super missiles. The $20 not so good. Super missiles good. They've already got a really healthy super missile count. You need 30 super missiles to kill.
I just took a look at the logic, and it looks like high jump is an option for getting up to that that morph ball location, that speed booster. So yeah, that's totally within logic. The reason that's significant is if it wasn't in logic, then they would probably be missing flippers to get their space jump.
Cantaloupe unfortunately missed the Zova or whatever those things. Sofa? I'm gonna call them sofas from now on.
Yeah, couches.
Sabin taking a trip to the I think that's the Nutella roof refill.
Yep.
Looks like he's gonna make a play for Croc. We'll see if betting on Croc is gonna pay off or not.
It usually does. And by usually, I mean often. Sometimes.
I was gonna say the opposite. I was gonna say usually is a waste of time. Sabin making it look easy.
Yeah, by usually I mean confirmation bias. But, okay, he just backs up on his own. Cool too.
Cantaloupe is resetting. When you reset the game, it always takes you back to Super Metroid, so he saved and quit. Ooh, a hammer at Croc. Well, Croc's paying off big time today.
In my first tournament race, there was a cane of Samaria down here, and turns out it wasn't even required. So
Yeah, I think I actually commentated that race.
yeah,
Yeah, your intuition though paid off this time. I would have been looking forever for that hammer before I got down to Croc. That probably would have been a last location.
in my second race, I put it off for a really long time, and like I was just missing the cane, and I was like, "What are the odds Croc is gonna have cane twice in a row?" Turns out it had nothing. Cane was elsewhere. Croc was still dead.
And we do see Cantaloupe is heading down, as you'd expect, with the reset heading down to Blue. Well, some power bombs are nice. But he's not going to pick. Well, I guess he's probably planning on resetting. That said, the ceiling item is in logic with the high jump boots, so it is possible Morph Ball could be there. We, of course, know Morph Ball's at Speed Booster, but Cantaloupe does.
Spazer is a nice upgrade right now. He's gonna skip it, it seems. Not too interested in that. Really, he only wants Morph Ball. The Spazer is an upgrade to the beam. It's very useful if you never find Plasma, but you're probably gonna find Plasma, and he wants nothing to do with Spazer, it looks like.
Morph Ball is at Speed Booster.
Unfortunately, you can't equip both Spazer and Plasma at the same time. It was a very broken bug in vanilla game, but I think it's been patched out of combo randomizer entirely. So
I think if you turn it on, it still just breaks the game. I was watching a crowd control race between Ivan and Andy, and the game crashed a couple of times because people did Spazer and Plasma at the same time.
oh, interesting. I wonder if that's a crowd control thing then.
Cantaloupe is heading to Desert, which I'm sorry, like I wonder, does he not realize Bubble Mountain is in logic? Because that is a lot of checks, and I mean, you know, chat saying the seed is basically screaming, go to Bubble Mountain.
Well,
I do feel like it is.
But it's nice to have Morph Ball when you go there so you can check more stuff. So he may just want to put it off for last just in case Morph Ball is out here. Unfortunately, it won't pay off for him. And there's a sword. Basically the first check you can't get when you first go into Norfair. And a hookshot, holy crap.
Yeah, wow, hookshot and hookshot and a sword at high jump. That's pretty, that's loaded. Looks like Cantaloupe is going to set up, I assume, the fake flipper here and go check out Zora.
Looks like it. You have to be on just the right pixel.
Which unfortunately he will not be able to check the waterfall cave, which has space jump, because he doesn't have a moon pro.
Yeah.
Well, I meant specifically because he was fake flippering, that he couldn't check. Meanwhile, Sabin's gonna check out Crumble Tower.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless you set up a water walk, you're unable to get the waterfall ferry checks. with just fake flipper. You would need at least pearl to get the water walk, leaving the waterfall ferry, and then go back in.
And that was 50 rupees an arrow there.
10.
Sabin's getting a little close to death here.
He's fine. He's fine. Luckily, he does have a reserve tank, so.
Oh, that's true. I'd expect to see him head up and do Kraid. Man, Cantaloupe is double dipping Eastern without the bow. I'm really afraid that he just doesn't know Bubble Mountains in logic. Which is understandable. I mean, at least, in my brain, if I don't have Morphball, I just generally say, oh, Super Metroid's all out of logic.
Yeah, we've seen a few times this tournament that Morphball could be in Bubble Mountain. And unfortunately for Cantaloupeme, this is one of those times.
Yeah, hopefully Cantaloupe finds the bow in the back of Eastern, so at least this won't be a triple dip. Although, Eastern's green pendant.
Which would be another item, at least.
Sabin, meanwhile, doesn't even bother to farm energy. He's going straight for Kraid. We'll see if we get the...
Yeah, you get energy drops off Kraid. Easy. Oof, not quite getting the quick kill. He's gonna do a little dance with Kraid here.
Why does Kraid have such scrawny arms?
Well... If you look closely, his fingers are like the size of your own arm. So, it's just... his body is so much bigger. I don't know.
Alright, with that Master Sword, Aghanim is now in logic. Moon Pearl on Pyramids. The only Super Metroid boss whose gender I'm fairly certain is Ridley being a girl. The rest I just...
Well, Ridley is referred to as he pretty often. I don't know.
Cantaloupe actually has, I believe, he's seen at least 15 power bombs. He didn't pick up one of the packs. So the power bombs are out there. Sabin just doesn't have them. And Cantaloupe sort of making the right play, but not making the right play anymore. He's heading up the elevator. I'm not sure where he's going. Red Tower?
Was it she in NES? I haven't actually read the manual for it.
I mean, really considering their aliens are Earth-centric view of two genders is probably incorrect anyways, so...
Even then, a lot of Earth creatures can and or not have a gender at all.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm no biologist. I'm no space biologist. I just play video games.
Xenobiologist.
I don't play Xenosaga either. So we gonna get some potential X-ray sightings here on the Sabin's end.
Yep, and given what Cantaloupe's doing, I think at this point it's without a doubt he doesn't realize Bubble Mountain's in logic. I don't think he would do this Red Tower climb without checking Bubble Mountain.
Yeah, this is real interesting, because I believe this logically requires the ice beam on normal logic.
That's what I was
I'm
gonna
not
say
entirely
was,
sure.
yeah, I think the Red Tower climb requires Ice Beam. Cantaloupe did find the grapple beam. Does that open up anything? Moat? No, you can't power bomb. But space jump is out of logic, and Cantaloupe doesn't have space jump. We need the flippers for that space jump to be in logic. And X-ray was a fat nothing. Yeah, I'm looking to see if Cantaloupe has his tracker. He does not.
I have a
So-
little trouble reading the logic sometimes. It says Red Brinstar can be accessed if you have ice or high jump or space jump and access to the Norfair portal.
Oh, okay. So then it is in logic.
However, the power bomb requires ice and super.
Yep. Hopefully Cantaloupe's gonna make the move mountain play now. Oh, it looking like he is.
I'm just kind of wondering why you would need ice for the Spacer item, as that is included in Red Brinstar.
That's a good question. Sabin gets his grapple beam, and we get to see what's behind the Jozo. It's an energy tank. Nice to have. 3 energy tank Varia. You're still a little squishy. Chat is already calling for Shack Tool Jacks.
It's a little early for that. We definitely still need that other suit.
Cantaloupe getting trolled by the waivers.
Yeah, you could do a running jump to get up to the wall. There he goes. Manages to get up just like that.
He'll have his morph ball shortly. Sabin heading up Red Tower. Is he going to? It looks like he's probably gonna do wreck ship. It seems sunset.
Yeah, it's not so bad with Fantoon's not so bad with Varia suit. Pretty tough without any suits though. So this is gonna be considerably easier than some other seeds I've seen.
Cantaloupe gets his morph ball.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty big item difference, but actually Cantaloupeme is pretty much right about to get all of the items that TheSabin already has. Pretty much everything he was here in Norfair.
I think I generally don't like to say somebody has a lead this early in the game, but I think that Sabin does have somewhat of a lead. Cantaloupe's been to Eastern twice, whereas Sabin has not been to Eastern.
Yeah, it's usually tough to say early because a lot of times players will have checked different things and they'll wind up crossing each other's paths anyway. So while SMZ3 did get progression earlier, Cantaloupeme did make those other checks earlier, so it almost balances out. But yeah, I'd say with that double dip especially, it would be advantage to SMZ3 here.
Yep, that said, there's still a lot of seed left. For those who aren't familiar with these generally go, I'd say 3 hours is probably pretty close to the average for runners of this caliber.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of item strikes, meanwhile SMZ3 is taking on Argus.
I'm gonna guess this seed is gonna go for like around 315 or so.
Fortunately, unlike most of the past, you don't need the hook shot to get Argus's puffs in this.
Yeah. So he does have grapple beam. It doesn't really do anything to him, but
I was just gonna say, can you grapple fan, dude?
you could grapple Crocomire for some reason. And just rip his arms off.
And that's fire and tune down for SMZ3. Made it look easy. Cantaloupe chose to go back through Cathedral, so he might be skipping Croc.
Yeah, maybe.
Or he might just be taking this. He might take the Crumble Tower route to Croc.
It's kind of unfortunate because he'll be abandoning that hook shot and sword in the high jump location, but he might come back later. Hopefully.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would guess his route's gonna be Croc and then do high jump, so he should get it before it particularly matters. But we'll see. I think ice into Crumble Tower into Croc into high jump is a pretty solid route. SMZ3 taking a second to farm up some power bombs and eat some spikes.
Cantaloupe is, in fact, going down to get his hammer from Crocomire.
Yep, the $1 million question right now is where is that Moon Pearl? Aghanim is in logic with the items they have, so it could be on the pyramid line. That was a nice wall jump off of
Yeah.
We'll see if Cantaloupe decides to please the crowd and grapple beam Croc. Probably not.
That's mostly done if you have charged plasma beam.
Yeah, because you only need to hit him once with charged plasma. SMZ3 in the spiky room of death, my favorite named room. Also a very accurate name.
Guess they're pretty cleanly with space jump.
And Crocomire takes his acid bath. Cantaloupe's gonna use the grapple beam intended strat.
And the SMZ3 is wisely farming one more power bomb off of that bowl in that previous room.
Yeah, that's smart. You don't want a soft lock, and you only got 5. I'm sure he is, you know, he's hoping to find progression, but I feel like he would be very glad to find another set of power bombs.
I commentated a match the other day where it saved the runner's bacon farming that one extra power bomb.
I feel like he shine sparked through that fly enemy and it did nothing. Cantaloupe choosing to take the save before he goes down and check the grapple beam location.
Okay, he's gonna take the super missile here in the attic.
Yeah, I feel like super missiles without until you have charge beam, super missiles are worth grabbing anytime you see.
I like them anyway because my aim isn't exactly perfect against Ridley. They do double damage to Ridley, so it's pretty nice.
I go out of my way to pick up every item, even missiles, when I have like 150. There's a reason why I went Owen.
Missiles in the sky is missiles in the sky today. More energy is always nice.
Yeah, if you get up to 6 and 7, you can start thinking about stand-up if you happen to find the beams.
And even if you don't really need that many tanks, it is also a nice full health refill. And being full on health also gets you increased chances of missile and ammo drops in general.
With the speed booster, SMZ3 will be able to check the wreck ship preserve item here, so nothing's gonna get left behind. That feels good. Always feels good to be able to take a big section of Super Metroid and say done, never need to go back. You know, Cantaloupe is heading out of Croc. He should be heading into high jump next. ₹300 is the first item. Let's see what the second is. Sabin's got a lot of plays available to him. I see chat mentioned 20 rupees at Wreck Ship Reserve. East Death Mountain. East Death Mountain seems like a pretty strong play to me. There's a lot of items over there.
And Cantaloupe is playing catch-up here, getting his sword and grapple beam.
Man, SMZ3 just found the tempered.
Hookshot beam.
That was tempered sword at Gravity Suit.
Wow.
Yeah, I liked it. I would not be surprised to see him head up to Death Mountain. He's got all of Death Mountain, East Death Mountain he can do, and he can also do Harrow, which is a crystal. So it is possible, depending on how Cantaloupe routes as he heads into East Death Mountain, that that tempered sword will not be gotten by Cantaloupe. If he gets to Wreck Ship in go mode, he will almost certainly not check that item.
Maybe. Do you remember where the second sword was?
High jump.
How about the first one?
I knew you were gonna ask that.
Yeah. Yeah, Cantaloupe got the one off of high jump, so I'm just wondering where his master sword's gonna be.
I for the life of me can't remember where the first sword was. Sashra's closet?
I don't think SMZ3's done that. Mirror And Moon Pearl on
Pearl.
right side mountain. That's really good.
Wow.
He's reading the logic pretty well. TheSabin, meanwhile, is just putting all his stock into this sequence broken space jump.
With Speed Booster, I believe Gauntlet is in logic.
It's true.
I love that Shine Spark. I think it's probably slower to set up and do that, but I love that. Feels so nice to just fly through the first half of Gauntlet.
For sure, yeah.
Just a heart piece on the floating island. So there's a lot of options available to these runners. They can jump into pod and at least get one. Thieves Town is available. Gauntlet has the flute.
Nice. That'll be nice quick access back to Norfair for later.
Saving, farming up more power bombs.
He is gonna check Terminator before he hits too far left. And is gonna go on back to, has he done bombs yet? Nope. He's gonna go on back to the bomb Teresa.
Yeah, I also don't think he has checked the 230 missiles. Sabin finally finding some more power bombs. That's kind of like, that's like French vanilla. Power bombs at more ball bombs. Cantaloupe finds a heart container, as I believe that is the first item in. We do have the small key, so it's all going to come down to Trolldorm. Does he have an item, or does he have the map? Tune in at 11 to find out. The single arrow of destiny, and Sabin turns his nose up at it. Cantaloupe doing hammer Moldworm. Never. Wow, that was a very kind Moldworm. Good job, Cantaloupe.
Nice.
And it's off to the basement we go. Hi-ho.
It's much nicer to fight Moldworm with the hammer than it is with the sword, because the fighter sword will take 6 hits, whether you're using spins or slashes, it doesn't matter. But after the 5th hit, he'll go extra fast, whereas with the hammer, you do twice as much damage, so you skip that quick phase, and you just kill him in 3 hits instead.
Sabin does the wall jumps to check staff supers and just finds out it's a pack of missiles. I do not anticipate anyone getting those.
That's nice to have out of the way. Does he have enough power? I don't know if he has enough power bombs for this entire Blueprint Star trip.
He's gonna get bailed out because Morph Ball has 5 power bombs.
Ooh.
Ooh, Canis and Maria at Old Mother Brain. That's a heck of a find. But we know Sabin is on his way to getting some more power bombs and his Spazer Beam. We'll see what is in Billy Mays.
Cantaloupe going into the item dense Dark World.
Yep, Village of Outcasts has a lot of checks he can do.
Getting a second look at the map. Making sure to write it all down. Don't want to have to check the map ever again.
Yep, and mismarking the map can really cost you in a race. I've seen a couple of races where somebody had mismarked something and you clear all the way through the dungeon and you get a pendant, it's like, wait a minute.
Luckily, I don't have to worry about mismarking because I'm too lazy to use a tracker. And then I forget items.
Oh, morph pearl bombs in the chest game.
It's kind of double-edged because now once he goes to check the bomb Torizo, he will have a fight waiting for him. But he won't be reliant on using power bombs to bomb jump anymore.
Meanwhile, there's nothing good in Billy Mays.
Yeah.
Those morph bombs being in logic does put a lot of the space jump checks that SMZ3 has done in logic.
And we see Cantaloupeme getting that second chest in Thieves Town. Very good. Maybe we'll see the contents of the third and fourth.
Just missiles at the blue power bomb spot.
Oh, it was a small key in the second chest. I just saw his key tally. So only one item in the front of Thieves Town.
Yeah, he just found those $20.
Which means there are 3 in the back.
Yeah, I mean, Thieves Town, it's a crystal, you got the hammer, so you're not leaving anything. This check should feel pretty good. Ooh, Book of Medora at Big Pain. At charge missiles. Charge beam just having missiles.
Thieves Town can have some pretty rude situations when you go there, but luckily the seed is pretty nice about it.
SMZ3 is going to check the waterway item here. This is not in logic, but a pretty easy trick.
I believe it is actually. You can do a shine spark off of the top thing with no shortenings.
I'm gonna load up email tracker and see if that's true. Yep, you are correct.
I was looking at one.
SMZ3 farming up a couple extra power bombs.
Interesting. So you need either one energy tank or gravity. The energy tank being required for actually using the shine spark because it does drain energy over time. Pretty quick drain too.
Yep, it's definitely something that you don't always think about, but you go and you shine spark and then you get halfway through and you run out of energy and you're like...
And then an enemy hits you and you die. That was a pretty clean spore spawn skip by the SMZ3 as well.
Yeah, he got it very quickly. Meanwhile, Cantaloupe just found some missiles in the hammer chest. Just the map, so blind, I believe, has an item. This is another glitch on SMZ3's side that is not in logic, but especially with high jump boots, this is a really easy glitch to do. He's going to attempt to shoot a super missile and have it trigger the gate, which first shot. That's the kind of trick anybody can do if you've got the high jump boots. I mean, it might take you a few more missiles than one, but still it's pretty easy to do. Cantaloupe making real quick work of blind. SMZ3 finding $300 outside of Mission Impossible. And at 56 minutes and 2 seconds, that is our second crystal on the board for Cantaloupeme.
Nice. Pretty good progress.
Yep. I mean, I would say at this point, with just how divergent their routes have been, I would no longer be comfortable saying one runner has the advantage over the other at the moment.
Yeah, TheSabin's luck has kind of dried up after he left Norfair. And ball's in Cantaloupe's court now.
The stun prize is a heart, which is good to know. That's an easy way to refill your health if you get new emergency.
And the Quake could be important later on. We do need at least one medallion for Turtle Rock, if not another medallion for Misery Mire. They could potentially be the same medallion required, but it's random which one is required for either one.
Sabin's going to be checking the Stumpy here in the Cave 45, just some missiles on Stumpy. Sabin heading down to Eticoons. Oh, there's our fourth sword.
Yeah. Circle of Bushes cave. Real nice for our runners. Especially nice for Cantaloupe if he happens to hit go mode before wrecked ship. He won't necessarily need that last sword.
I do actually think that, with the discussion in chat, I do think Spring Ball is functionally useless as far as progression goes in this mode.
I'd say logically useless, but functionally, it a lot of players really like to use it in Wave Beam here in Green Prince Stars.
I definitely like your term. I like logically useless much better. Because I love me some Spring Ball.
Really has a lot of sequence breaking potential as well. In addition to just being nice to for movement alone.
Cantaloupe is going to check the pyramid ledge. We'll see if we can get a look at it. He's going to... Oh, I thought maybe he was going to catch a fare. Just a shield on pyramid ledge, which he's going to pick up.
Interesting.
And he's going to save and quit, which is interesting. Kind of orphaning catfish. Plus he could have... That's an interesting choice, because he could have gone up to the magic shop and bought a potion so he could bottle glitch and pod. I feel like it's likely he's going to head to wreck ship.
I don't know if you want to bother bottle glitching and crystal pod just because you'll probably find Bo before you need to go in there anyway.
You're not wrong. So Cantaloupeme looks like he's going to do wreck ship. We know he's not going to get anything aside from his tempered sword, which is not. And it's already, well, this race is really flying by. This has been a quick hour.
Yeah.
I'd like to remind everyone to please give these two guys a follow. They're putting on a good race for us, very enjoyable, lots of neat things going on. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Rank1.global. It's a site to kind of collect your gamer profile. You can check out the Rank 1 profiles of both of these runners by doing !R in the chat. And I'd like to give a shout out to our awesome tracker, WoodenFox470. He's doing an amazing job of tracking. It's a really tough job, so please give him a follow, and please follow my co-com, Jagger G.
Woo. And Eleanor as well, might as well.
Why not?
You been running anything lately?
Well, I did that multi-world the other night with HK.
Sweet.
Other
nice
than that,
hover by SMZ3 to get across the gap.
That was a nice hover. I've been spending most of my quarantine playing Anno 1800. So Sabin's got his mirror, his moon. He's gonna do Hera, then check Spiral Cave most likely. He does have the book, so he will be able to check this Ether tablet, which Cantaloupe has kind of left up.
Pretty good.
Meanwhile, Cantaloupe is taking our Argus. Just a piece of heart from the Ether Talisman, so no harm in leaving that there.
Not as good as I was hoping. Not as good as he was hoping, for sure. Yeah, there are a lot of items in A Link to the Past that can potentially be progression. We mostly just have the major progression items. And at least the very nice to haves, like flute.
I could see an argument for replacing the flute with the book on the tracker for SMZ3, honestly. And Cantaloupe gets his fan tune down super quick. Sabin about to head to his troll dorm. He's got the tempered sword, so he'll have an easier time with it than Cantaloupe, although Cantaloupe made it look super easy.
Yeah, the flute is usually pretty important in A Link to the Past randomizer, because, well, if you don't have normal death mountain access, you could use flute to get up there. You could also use the flute as your only access to Mire, but in combo randomizer, you actually have other means to access Mire through the lower Norfair portal. Whereas boots actually hard lock like 4 items, I believe. 2 of them on torches and bonk rock locations.
I could see replacing the boots just because it's obvious if a runner has boots, because they'll be bootsing all over the place.
True. Same could be said for sword. In any case, we got Cantaloupe going through Wreck Ship now. He is going to get his sword. Well, most likely. He hasn't gotten there yet. It's on his way out of the ship.
Get through that spiky room of death and just 5 bombs in the basement of Hera. Does not feel good. And I'm sorry, 5 bomb capacity upgrade. SMZ3 checking Spike Cave instead of Spiral Cave.
Alright.
Nope, this is a new check for us. We have not seen this. And that was totally not worth it.
Alright. I like Spike Cave. But it hardly ever has anything, unfortunately.
It's like the Spiky Room of Death, but not A Link to the Past.
I feel it's kind of like X-Ray.
Yeah, I can see some little similarities there.
Like, both of them you could opt to just tank damage on, like, running across the spikes the entire time, the entire way. Or you could just be invincible or just fly. If you have the ability to.
Yep, we have both runners that's kind of going over ground. The other runner has already checked. SMZ3 might go into Skull Woods. Cantaloupeme decided to skip Skull Woods without the quick.
Skull Woods is an interesting play without Fire Rod.
Yeah, skipping the chest SMZ3 skipped is an interesting play too.
Well, he doesn't want the holes in the floor to appear before he goes back. He apparently wants to go through this room and get his guaranteed extra key here.
Yep, unlike A Link to the Past Randomizer, this chest is always guaranteed to be key in the...
Yeah, I want to say in the current version of the combo randomizer is using the version 29 of the Link to the Past randomizer as the base.
That sounds right to me.
And I think that key was changed in version 30. One of the newer changes to A Link to the Past that I really want to see in Combo Randomizer is the prize packs being actual packs within groups of enemies instead of just being all shuffled together as they are currently. All randomized. So for example, when you kill Pengator, it very frequently drops magic in vanilla, but it could be just like a high chance of bombs in the version 31.
SMZ3's making the pen
anything.
play.
Alright. Some kind of flying bomb, just missiles on pedestal.
I was watching Maniacal do a Key Sanity beta of SMZ last night. Really interesting.
Gets a bomb as well as bombs in the chess minigame.
Yeah, the chess minigame was explosive today. A lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah. And gets his quake here as well. Cantaloupeme is about to get his disappointment throughout his criteria and Brinstar explorations. Although there was the book in I want to say that was the reserves, the Brinstar reserves location.
Book was in Big Pink.
Big Pink,
Charge
okay.
missile.
So nothing was in Brinstar reserves.
Cantaloupe's gonna do the swag gauntlet play too. Or not, maybe? Yes, he is.
Yeah. Much easier from the top ledge. He's got plenty of health.
And we know he's gonna find his flute back here, which will make him happy. Flute
Yeah, there's more here than I thought.
Flute rarely required, but always nice to have. Okay, he's okay.
Yeah, I hate when I get late flute and then it's just faster not to activate it at all.
Yeah.
He's eventually gonna find Kane down in Brinstar somewhere. Once again, I forget where that is.
Old Mother Brain.
Old Mother Brain. Okay.
Don't ask me how I remember all this. I really don't know.
That's what we have the tracker for. So they each have 3 bosses defeated. This is a closer match than it was looking at the start.
Yeah, once SMZ3 finishes Thieves Town, we'll have a little bit, I think, of a better idea on where these two stand in terms of... SMZ3 has the grade, which is a nice advantage, and also has checked Retro Brand, which I believe Cantaloupe has not yet checked Retro Brand.
Oh, right. Wave Beam was a really good find here. That's what it was. I thought something was here.
Wave Beam is a big increase in damage, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly how much. I want to say like 300 or something in charge.
Yep, and Cantaloupe doesn't have that Phaser Beam yet, because he has not been back to blue. So where do you think SMZ3 heads after he finishes up these? Digging Game Cave 45, Hype Cave, and then where?
That's a good question. He could go. I mean, he could go to pod area, I guess. It's not too appealing. Lower north.
I'm curious if he's gonna make a play for desert, because he's got everything he needs to full clear desert, and it's a crystal.
With SMZ3 having a tendency to sequence break, I could see him going to lower north fair, but it's not in logic yet. Which is why it will be a sequence break, I guess. As for in logic checks, yeah, it's not too much appealing, I think.
Looks like he's gonna actually check the Graveyard Ledge and Pumper Cave and Kingston. And just as a reminder for those who may have been joining us late, the flippers are outstanding because they locked the space jump, which is the waterfall, which SMZ3's sequence broke. Cantaloupe did not sequence break, so he does not have space jump.
This is a nice set of checks. The Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. We didn't see that from Cantaloupe, did we?
Nope, these are new checks. Cantaloupe went south.
Making sure to throw that bomb outside in case anyone was following him. A little paranoid, but I mean, it's not paranoia if you're right.
I was gonna say, I mean, if they're really out to get you, are you actually paranoid? Yep, so we can take a quick look here over what our runners still need. They still need quite a few items. They need the gravity suit. They need the bow. They need both rods. They need either a lot more ammo or charge. They need the flippers.
They will need those flippers, yeah.
And they might need a medallion. We're not sure. And they need mitts.
Yeah, this is one of those situations, this is one of those examples where knowing exactly what you sequence broke could be important. So you don't really want to, if you're looking for flippers for go mode, potentially, then you might not want to follow the space jump anywhere. Like, you could go down to Lower Norfair. You could go and beat Ridley and stuff, but it won't have flippers, most likely. Well, that's not true anymore because he does have bombs. I think that is in logic for normal mode.
Needs gravity suit, I believe.
Yeah, you do.
They do have the lamp. That said, have we seen a lumberjack ledge, Jack? I feel like we haven't.
I think so? I don't remember what. Maybe we haven't.
So if Aga is still alive, it's on the thinnest of threads.
And I just double checked the wave beam does 150 charged. He doesn't have charge beam now, so it's only 50. But that is considerably, that's more than twice as much as the power beam, so that's
Sure,
a nice upgrade.
SMZ3 also has Spazer, which helps.
Right, that's true.
We'll see if Cantaloupe. I assume Cantaloupe's gonna go into Blue Bryn here and probably pick his Spazer.
The wave in Spazer is 70. It's more than 3 times as much as the power beam.
SMZ's heading to Landmo. After Landmo, I assume he'll check Gina.
Yeah, Gina, I think just had a heart container.
It was like heart container or missiles or something like that.
But still nice to route this in.
What was that
Desert.
BMO shot?
Yeah, BMO's kind of giving him the side eye there.
Yeah, what kind of sorcery is that? Like, as if BMOs weren't annoying enough, now they can shoot when they're not even looking at you? Nobody asked for that.
That sometimes happens in Metroid Prime 2 when you shoot while unmorphing. It'll shoot like the direction the camera's facing, and Samus could potentially be facing the completely wrong direction. Sometimes shoots backwards.
I keep meaning to give the Metroid Prime series a playthrough. I never had a GameCube, so I never played.
Pretty great. It's a very good spiritual successor to Super Metroid.
Just 10 sticks off a landmo, so Desert was a bust aside from the crystal, but, you know, hey. An hour 20 in, I feel like you're feeling pretty good with 2 Super Metroid bosses dead and 3 crystals.
Yeah, sure. I think a lot of players tend to doubt themselves in races. They just feel like, oh, they've seen other speedrunners and they're probably like halfway done already. And they're like, they got all these bosses left to beat. But really, this is actually pretty good pace for them.
And there we see it was the Super Zenigina's cave. Not sure where he's going now. Dark Cross, maybe? Which
Yeah,
we're pretty sure is the key.
I don't think he
Oh,
did
has he not done the
escape.
dungeon? This is a perfectly
He was
logical
about
play.
to do it, and then he bailed out and went to Bonk Rocks instead. And then, or was that when he did Sick Hit instead? Either way, he wound up finding progression instead, and just never actually came here.
Sabin can't do Swamp Palace without the flippers. I had that same thought, like, oh, he's gonna do Swamp Palace, that's smart. Then I was like, wait a minute, you dummy.
Could do Bombo's tablet, I guess, if he hasn't already. I don't see why he would. Pretty out of the way, and you could combine it with Purple Chest later.
Yeah, he might also, I mean, he might, when he does Hype Cave and Cave 45, he might do Bombos. It's not too bad to do it then.
Interesting. Cantaloupe getting stuck in the door a little bit there. If he had X-ray, that would be significant.
Okay, so Sabin is gonna go ahead and do Dark Cross, and we should confirm that it is a key. It's a pretty quick check, and if you're not 100% certain, better safe than sorry. You don't want to leave an item here thinking that it's a... We'll see where he heads to next. I would kind of expect the Hype Cave play. We are starting to run out of checks. We've got one chest in pod that nobody's looked at. Catfish? Bombo's tablet?
Cantaloupe getting the kind of lockjaw position with Kraid, getting his jaw kind of stuck open like that. And unfortunately the hand just blocked his shots and he gets stand up anyway.
So both runners got pretty close to the same amount of time on Kraid, I'd say.
Oh, that's why that's
sword.
And Cave 73 living up to its name today with pretty much just garbage.
Is it actually called Cave 73?
That's what I call it. A lot of people call it Hype Cave.
Well, sure. I mean, I guess I was saying that, like, on the map or whatever, where Cave 45 came from, is that Cave 70?
Yeah.
Because I totally approve of calling it Cave 73 then.
I once asked which number that was because it's not really hype anymore since I think version 19 is when it stopped being so hype. And
Oh, wow.
someone was like, well, it's Cave 73, but no one's going to remember that number. And I'm just like, why would you forget 73 but not 45? I don't know, man. People are weird.
SMZ's gonna do his south check, so he's gonna get his missiles from Stumpy, and he should get his gold sword. And then with that gravity suit, that's a lot of meridia opened up. Wow.
Turns his nose up at that butter sword.
That's an interesting...
Watching his diet.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, it's pretty handy with as many Link to the Past bosses as he has left.
And I mean, it does save some time on Ganon. Not a lot of time. But I feel like certainly it saves more time than it would have taken to just get that item.
It, in theory, saves no time against Ganon if you're optimal with your Tempered Sword strats, because you can still one cycle the first two phases, and it's entirely cycle based. The phase won't end as soon as you do enough damage. You just still have to wait anyway.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
For the fourth phase, you're gonna be doing spin slashes, whether you have tempered or butter. Though you could do regular slashes, it's just a much tighter window. And the butter spins do as much damage as the tempered spins against Ganon specifically.
Cantaloupe checking out the magic bat. This is a new check for us. Magic bat giving him just some missiles. We know Cantaloupe needs to head over to Bombo's. And it looks like SMZ's doing lore and warfare checks.
Yeah, with that gravity in hand, it's totally in logic now.
Well, if SMZ ends up losing by like 15 seconds, I'll taunt him for not picking up that butter sword.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see how his boss fights go. Because he doesn't have bow, which would make the Vitreous fight a lot better. As well as the silvers.
Yep, well, hopefully we don't need to see Vitreous this match.
Actually, I guess even with Tempered Sword, you could one cycle Vitreous. I don't know, man.
Yeah, Cantaloupe has kind of orphaned the Mother Brain location where the Red Cane is. The thing working in his favor there is he also has Shaft Supers. So there's like 2 items that are at least pulling him in that area, so we'll see if hopefully he gets that way sooner rather than later. Cantaloupe taking a bowling ball to the face. SMZ taking on Big Bird.
Oh. facing the wrong way there. Super missile is definitely the way to go for this boss fight.
Yep, if you don't have charged plasma, definitely.
Even with charged plasma, the gold Chorizo does take double damage to supers as well, so that's higher DPS even though he's catching the first super missile you shoot. You could get in like 4/5 of your shots basically.
Yeah, but I also factor in the time to farm the power bombs back. Oh, not power bombs.
That's
Super
very
missiles
true.
back.
And Quake is enough to get into Pendant Mire.
SMZ3 I expect is good enough that all he needs is 30 super missiles for Ridley, but I need like 7.
Yeah.
Interesting decision to go independent Mire. Especially since you have the flute. Like, in theory, getting back here shouldn't be difficult.
Yeah, we were just talking about Bolet's Vitreous. However, Vitreous might not be required at all. We'll see if he gets both items out. And he already knows the pedestal's dead, so he doesn't need the pendant off of it.
Didn't even check the shed before he came in here. This feels like a pretty big gamble to me.
Maybe. I feel like with so many outstanding items, he was gonna go in here anyway. He's just looking for 2 items and he's gonna bail. Conveniently, while there are a lot of chests here in Mire, most of them are either keys or map or compass or big key or something, and you probably don't need any of those. You could just find the items that aren't dungeon specific and then just bail.
Cantaloupe got a magic potion. I thought that meant he was going to pod. I guess he still could be going to pod this way. This is the longer way there.
Ooh, it looks like SMZ3's gonna end up full clearing this anyway. It's gonna take a bit longer with just the lamp instead of the fire rod, but it's good enough.
And Cantaloupe is indeed making that play to pop.
Yeah, Bola's pod is definitely an interesting play when you're short on item checks.
I like the Bolas Pop play more than I like the Midway play.
And with that key, we can, in fact, move onward. You'll need at least 3 keys in order to logically access the backup pod.
First item in Meyer was super missiles.
Okay. But with a bottle and a potion in hand, Cantaloupe is going to be able to check the both side with some trickery. So if you haven't seen this trick before, you bonk open this wall, you go scroll the screen to the right, then you walk to the left and drink your potion while walking. Well, you have to burn some magic to use green potion. And just make sure to never go right at all. Just kind of hold up through the door, and the screen doesn't quite lock. You could double grab the wall on the right to make the mimics stay in place. And as long as the mimics are enough off screen, apparently 1 pixel off is enough, the door just opens. Thinking there's no enemies on screen.
Wow, dual power bombs in Meyer Shed. Did the Sabin get the second item in Meyer? Did chat see?
I hope so, for his sake. Mushroom, okay. Another
More
power
power
bomb.
bomb. Okay, you'll pick
Jeez.
these up, but you won't pick the gold sword up. Come on.
Right? Definitely a statement play.
Really was starting to wonder where the heck are those flippers? We'll see how many super missiles Sabin chooses to farm up here.
Yeah, now that they found bombs in the Thieves' Town, they're basically no longer worried about logic for space jump. It's basically treated as the same for a lot of the space jump requirements. There is one exception with the Gold Teresa, but you can check that from the back with Green Gate glitch, and Sabin already knows this junk.
Yep, the statue will not lower the acid if you do not have space jump. That's just how it works in Super Metroid. Sabin in the worst room in the game. These pirates. I always just kill them.
Yeah, they are why it's called the worst room in the game. I think the any percent run uses charged ice beam to freeze them, and it's just really obnoxious to do.
Well, I think the I mean, it depends on skill level, I guess, but like, Zeus just damage boosts through it. Hey, spring ball!
Nice. Worst room in the game leading to the best item in the game.
Zeus, of course, I believe, is the current. I think is the sole leader of the world record in Super Metroid anything. I think
Not
he got a
surprising.
time to beat him in to beat the one he had that was tied. So they've been heading past the three musketeers, three amigos.
I want to say the musketeers are at the end, leaving Lower Norfolk. I always forget.
Yeah, and I do. I like that save with the amount of energy he has. Better safe than sorry. Saving only takes a few seconds, and dying takes a lot more seconds.
For sure.
So all that was found in Pod was that plasma beam. Which again,
Okay.
nice to have. And the best boomerang found by Sabin in Paragon of Shame. Cantaloupe says, I'm not fighting bomb chorizo for the pack power bomb.
You didn't happen to see what was in the bow locked side of pod, did you?
No. I think he got a red rupee on the chest that's on the parade. I think the only thing that was even of any note was just the plasma beam. I don't think anything else. I think it was all like missiles and hurt pieces. How much health does SMZ3 need for
Greater than or equal to 1.
Well, I guess how much health does SMZ3 think he needs for Ridley? If he was gonna farm here, I wish he'd switch to the grapple beam.
Yeah, grapple is a real nice way to farm in this room.
And Cantaloupe is making that check to get his Canis Maria, so that's good. Find the choice to spam missiles at Ridley is also an interesting choice. Didn't want to use.
Yeah, it is faster than the wave spazer.
Sure, but I mean, I would spam super missiles. He had like 45 of them.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get you want to save some so that you can go through super missile doors and stuff and not have to farm, but again, he came in here with 45.
I was just double checking what was in pod, and yeah, it looks like it was a bow locked pod after all, logically speaking. You absolutely needed, I think it had 2 keys on the right side, and only 1 key in the drop down, and a big key in the vanilla location. So you logically need 4 keys to enter the back, or sorry, 3 keys to enter the back. And only 2 of them were available without bow.
Where does Cantaloupe head now? Cantaloupe has killed Kraid, by the way, I believe, in the box.
Sometimes the tracker eats inputs.
Yep. Well, hopefully he's checking bomb bows, which will give him his gravity suit. I kind of feel like at this point progression is in Meridian.
Probably. I'm no stranger to bow in Meridia.
Yeah, and these runners are undoubtedly hoping to find the ice rod sooner rather than later. Ice rod can be anywhere in Super Metroid at this point.
And there's gravity for Cantaloupe.
Yeah, so where are you heading, Cantaloupe? Oh, I like this. I like the save it leaving Ridley too. Looks like Cantaloupe is going to do the Lower Norfair play too, I would assume.
Yeah, either Lower Norfair or Meridia. They're kind of equidistant at this juncture. Oof. Takes 6 supers to kill those red key hunters.
And
unfortunately,
that is why he saved.
Not quite fast enough. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, when you activate the automatic reserve tanks, you run out of iframes before you get out of the hitbox. So you do get double hit there.
It never occurred to me that they're key hunters, as in key I. I always thought it was K-E.
Ah.
Oh boy.
Gets through fine this time. And yeah, Cantaloupe not opting to do the water walk still doesn't have space jump, but making plenty fine use of this high jump and gravity suit to get through Meridia.
I mean, I'll be honest, with the flute and the moon pearl, I would have almost certainly done a fake flipper by now, again, just to check the hobo and those waterfall. I would be really afraid that that waterfall chest was going to burn me.
Yeah, either play is pretty valid.
The red shield, which she picks up. And mother... So many 10 arrows this seed, jeez.
Cantaloupe shooting the turtle, showing his disdain for animals.
Well, he's a fruit, so I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like cantaloupes have a long history of being abused by animals. Lower North Shore was a bust. X-ray? No?
Alright. A lot of people tend to get X-ray because it's pretty useful on Dragon and Batuon. They've already beaten Fantoon, so a bit late for that. But yeah, he doesn't have charge or plasma, so
Yeah, this late in the game, I can understand skipping it. It can be obnoxious to have that extra input that you need to cycle.
he's thinking charge and or plasma are probably going to be in A Link to the Past, which is correct. And it's just probably not going to have all three components by the time he gets down to Meridia, which he kind of wants to go to right away, it looks like.
So charge could be in Meridia. Plasma we know is in pod.
And as of version 11, charge can even be in Ganon's Tower. It's no longer required for Ridley and Mother Brain.
That is correct.
Because Ganon's Tower can never have progression for Super Metroid anymore.
We'll get an aqueduct and then I assume sandpit check here. Yep, charge is no longer logically required. There's the ice rod.
Ooh,
and screw attack, wow.
That's gonna be nice for Cantaloupe, not so nice for the SMZ3. It's mostly useful in Lower Norfair. It makes you feel powerful, but it is technically a downgrade for Turian. Because it cancels your iframes, and that makes some iframe glitchery or some trickery more difficult, for sure.
And in the right sandpit, we have 3 bombs and
rubies.
Yay, money.
And a reset.
And so as Cantaloupe goes to check the left sandpit and SMZ3 checks the rest of Meridia, please give these guys a follow. SMZ3 and Cantaloupe, they're doing a great job. This is a pretty exciting race. It's kind of hard to say who is in the lead right now. Probably the SMZ3 has a little bit of an edge, but not a huge one. You know, give these guys a follow on their Twitch. They deserve it. They've been putting on a good race. Check out their rank 1. And you should check out rank1.global. It's the sponsor for this tournament. They are giving us a prize pool for the top 4 runners, which is pretty awesome. It's a neat little site to collect your gamer profile stuff. And on the left sandpit, we have the Magic Cape, I believe.
Yeah.
And oh boy, is that Bombos or either?
I could not tell. I just saw a circle.
Yeah, I think that was a medallion.
I don't know if it was a circle from the item itself or if it was a circle from the explosion of the item orb. Bombos, maybe?
Yeah, magic, or the magic cape we know is not required. Bumper ledge was junk. Anyways, to finish my spiel, please also give a follow to our awesome tracker WindFox470. I see him talking in chat. He's doing a great job tracking for us. And please give my co-commentator Jagger G a follow. I'm having a lot of fun doing comms with him. Hopefully you're enjoying his contribution.
Yeah. And of course, Eleanor Lamb as well.
And nobody likes my commentary. Too many puns.
Too many or not enough?
I actually haven't had too many opportunities to make good puns in this race.
Yeah, true.
So we got a 5 arrow capacity upgrade at Botswoon's energy tank. I'm actually really looking forward to Sabin doing the last pit here so we can see what can confirm that it was Bob. And it is worth pointing out that Shack Tool is in logic.
True.
Cantaloupe opted not to check Shack Tool. Sabin looks like he's gonna do there now, which makes sense.
Cantaloupe making pretty good work of that big room. Ooh, flippers here in the precious room.
All right.
Yeah, Cantaloupe is doing pretty well without the space jump. It's losing pretty minimal time.
Yeah, I would say that for as late as he's gonna find that space jump, it has not hurt him a great deal.
And he now has logical access to it. He's probably going to get his half magic as well. Ooh.
Cantaloupe taking on Dragon. Looks like he's gonna try to fry him.
Yeah, that screw attack working to his detriment, accidentally destroying the goo, causing Dragon to run away.
And Shack Tool just has the red mail, which I would definitely pick up. Sabin says.
There you go. Gets the fast grapple kill on Dragon. Eventually.
I don't even like shrimp, but I know you shouldn't microwave shrimp. Alright, and Sabin's making this left sandpit check. That was definitely Babos. Oh man, that rock hit him so hard he had to reset. Gee.
Dang.
Those cabbages are everywhere.
Yeah, I've known people who have microwaved shrimp from Walmart. I wasn't too curious to try it.
I'm kind of with you there, WindFox. We'll see if they might just grab it on the way out of Meridia. We'll see what route they take out from Meridia. So now the next big questions are, where is that bow and the fire rod?
Yeah, EMP, yeah, that's a accurate pronunciation as well.
Oh, and mids too, yep. Sabin gets the halfy. The half-halfy?
That is the original strat used in that room for speedruns before people got good. Hence why it's called the...
Cantaloupe, I was gonna say Cantaloupe, you have Spring Ball, but Cantaloupe does have Spring Ball, that's Sabin. We'll see what Sabin decides to do to take out Dragon. Will he go for speed boostering? Missiling?
Speed booster is a good strat. Potentially, if you finish Dragon off with a Shine Spark, you could get forced into a stand-up position in the air, which will cancel your Shine Spark and just turn it into a blue suit instead, which will allow you a future Shine Spark basically at any time.
Cantaloupe having to do some, I hate to left stamp it without Spring.
Yeah, where was Spring Ball?
Mickey Mouse.
Right.
I'm not sure that I would think that frying has got to be quicker than speed booster.
Yeah, grapple beam is, I believe, the faster way to kill it, but Shine Sparking on the way out of the, is it the Coliseum? I think? It is just so satisfying.
That's fair.
Cantaloupe's just placing those bombs a little too...
I believe he's trying the
There
Eleanor
you go.
Lamb approach, which is you just spam the bomb button until it works. He, of course, does not know. I'm pretty sure he did not check Upper Ledge, so he does not know that that cape is useless. That said, it's, you know, can be a nice safety for like Vitreous or Gan. I do find his choice to Orphan Shack tool interesting. We know it's not going to bite him in the butt, but man, I feel like that's going to be nagging in the back of his head the rest of the race. Also not checking Plasma.
Yeah, those are some pretty lengthy checks. We do still need Bow and Fire Rod, both of which could potentially... Oh, and Mitts, actually.
Yep, we're looking for, yeah, those 3 items.
The first 2 could be Internal Rock. I have once seen Fire Rod on Laser Bridge. Pretty nasty spot.
Sabin showing how much easier this is with Spring Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible Cantaloupe made some plays earlier in the match which didn't really pay off. You know, he's double dipped a pendant Eastern Palace and got nothing both times. So he might feel that he's behind and needs to make some gambles in order to get ahead, which I think is a pretty accurate assessment of his state. Looks like he's going to head into Swamp, which I think is a smart play.
It's very likely going to have Mitts.
And we're about to see what exciting item is at Plasma. Accidentally jumping over that pirate.
Swing and a miss. Just missiles and plasma beam.
So far the gambles Cantaloupe's making now are paying off. As long as he sticks with his gambles and doesn't second guess himself, he's saving himself quite a bit of time. That said, I would say SMZ3 being thorough paid off at the beginning of the match. And any lead SMZ3 has right now is largely because of him being thorough at the beginning. So this is shaping up to be a really interesting last half of this race.
Yeah, it tends to be. It tends to come down to who makes the gamble that gets them go mode first.
SMZ3's going to take the Meridia portal out of Super Metroid. That said, I think SMZ3 has just about full cleared Super Metroid. I'm not sure that he has any items checks left. So I would expect to
flippers. Yeah, they're both going into swamp.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would expect to see him head into swamp here. SMZ3 checked tool, I'm pretty sure. I believe Cantaloupe is the one who did not check tool.
Correct. It was checked before Dragon.
Yeah, and it was red mail. We'll see if Cantaloupe is going to do diver down. I assume since he came in here without oh yeah, not going to do diver down, right? There's no water.
That's unfortunate. We'll see if the SMZ3 goes for it. It's a real nice time save. It's about 15 seconds, I think.
That's a really neat trick.
For each room.
Hurts my brain every time I see it though, because my brain is like, how are you walking on water?
It's walking in water, actually. You do drop down onto the lower level and you're just underneath the water.
First item in Swamp was the third shield. That gives SMZ3 his red shield and Cantaloupe his mirror shield. Cantaloupe wisely remembering that he needs to hit that. Nothing sucks more than getting to the end of the left side swamp and being like, oh jeez, I gotta go back and hit that stupid switch.
Yeah, the diver down and his sister Trick the Icebreaker are not allowed in NMG, I believe, but they are allowed in Randomizer.
Yep, the council.
Anyway.
Oh, there's the last medallion. There's either. Did Cantaloupe pick up Bombos? I didn't see if he picked it up.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. He was doing that bomb thing that took forever, though.
Yeah. You saw him try to pick it up.
Yep, so we know that no matter what, they can get a literal rock.
Looks like no diver down today. Unless they do it in the other section.
I mean, they both do have the canes, so that is, I think, an easier setup than the bomb.
I believe spooky action is allowed. I'm not 100% sure in NMG.
Yep, spooky action obvious is definitely allowed in Randomizer, but I do not know about NMG. I honestly haven't seen anybody do an NMG auto run in like 5 years.
Yeah, NMG does stand for no major glitches. It's just a lot of gray area in what is considered major in A Link to the Past. Fire rod in the big chest. Just one more piece of the puzzle.
So nothing in left side swamp, but both runs are checking it, so it's not going to make a difference time-wise. And that just means we're just looking for those mitts, and we're just looking for that bow. Could have been in that chest, never know.
So I take it the big key was in the back here.
Yep. It was in the 2 submerged chests.
Okay. You better go back for that fire rod. It would be a disaster if you didn't.
That would be a disaster. That would be, I think, considering how he's played, that would be, I think, a very uncharacteristic gamble of how he's been run.
Yeah, he's been very thorough.
Meanwhile, Cantaloupeme is taking on Phantom.
He is going back for the big chest, nice.
Making quick work of Phantom's puffs with that butter sword.
Going right back down because that staircase is a funny guy and likes to just take you right back down.
Yeah, you can hold a button. I think it's like down, and then if you're holding it, you won't go back down. Maybe chat can correct me on what exactly the right input is, but I know there's a direction you can hold.
There's a certain pixel alignment when you enter the room, and then I believe you hold right. I don't know. Either way, it takes some studying to figure out.
And the waterfall chest was just a heart piece. Cantaloupe heading almost certainly off to Skull Woods. They still need the mitts. Mitts and bow is what we're missing for go mode. I think their ammo is in a healthy enough place that they don't need charge speed.
Absolutely. SMZ3 has at least 80 supers.
SMZ3 taking on his Phantom. Gets him dead easy. I would really expect him to head off to Skull Woods next as well. So I would say SMZ3 still has a little bit of a lead, but it's not, Cantaloupe was definitely cut into it by skipping some of those checks that SMZ3 did.
Nice little hook speed to get out of the swamp.
Where are you headed, SMZ3?
Pod, perhaps? Taking his fire rod into pod. An interesting choice.
That is an
No,
interesting
okay.
choice. Oh, hobo, okay.
Right, he took the water walk into the waterfall ferry instead of fake flippering to hobo.
More power bombs! Yeah! So now does he continue on the pod? Does he go to catfish? Catfish. He'll probably swing by the bottle vendor and pick up a potion so he can potion glitch.
Cantaloupe unfortunately has to go back for a small key to get into the back of Skullwoods. Luckily there's one right here in the previous room. Not to be confused with the precious room. Completely different.
Not even the same game. And mushroom turns out to just be some missiles. Not buying a potion, okay. He might be making the same, the kind of thought process you said earlier where I need the bow for go mode, why would I sequence break something where the bow can't?
Well, still, it's a nice safety. Though he does have blue mail and 15 hearts, so he's probably feeling pretty safe, and have magic, so not worried about magic either.
And we'll see Catfish. What do you got for us today? Good chance he's got something we need.
Mitts. Wow, he could have had that a long time ago. Would have thrown him off, though.
I feel like that is bad news for Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe has orphaned Catfish pretty hard.
Yeah. Did he check the pyramid? I thought SMZ3 was the one who checked pyramid and bailed on Catfish earlier.
That's a good question. I don't remember. I thought it was Cantaloupe, but maybe I'm wrong.
Cantaloupe may also be able to pair Catfish along with the waterfall fairy.
That's true. He does not done the waterfall fairy yet, so hopefully that will get him in that direction. And Skullwoods, I think, was a complete boss.
Yep.
Which at this point, all we're looking for is the bow. Silver arrows would be nice.
Yeah.
Now SMZ3 is going to do his Skullwoods, I would assume. Yeah, I would honestly suspect SMZ3 will head up to Turtle Rock after this. You can kind of sucks to have to climb the mountain that one extra time, but it seems very likely the bow's going to be in Turtle Rock at this rate. Oh yeah, there's also Dark Death Mountain. That's a good catch with chat. There's a lot of items. Yeah, so the Death Mountain just has a lot of stuff to do.
This is pretty good. It's writing in the graveyard, the King's Tomb checks. This goes in nicely with the Catfish check afterwards.
Yep, hopefully he'll do that and check that, get that space jump. He doesn't need space jump per se, but it's definitely a big time saver.
Half magic will probably save him some time as well, maybe.
Yeah, probably would have liked to have had that a little sooner, but it's nice to have for Trinex. Now getting his 10 arrows from King's Tomb. Clearly the King is not very popular.
So a fun fact about Mothula is in the vanilla game, tempered sword spins do no damage to him because it's the same damage class as the spikes.
Same
The
with
same
gold
damage
sword
class as the
slashes.
gold sword slashes, yeah. I don't know if spins were fixed, but the butter sword in the randomizer is now treated as a tempered sword during that fight. So it does actually do damage with slashes.
Cantaloupe is making the catfish play, so that's great. He's gonna be very happy he came up.
It is kind of nice that they get myths so late, because they open up a few things that take quite a bit of time to check, just like scattered in the corners of the world. So as soon as he gets his bow, he's going to be in go mode, and he's not going to have to check the...
Yep, bow could be a nice palace, could be on Vitreous and Misery Mire, could be on the Green Pendant. And just as a reminder, this is a round one of the playoffs of this tournament. This tournament has a cash prize to the top 4 thanks to rank1.global. This is a best of 1. Whoever wins this will go on to face Pizza 34. Always takes me, I have to reread the name like 4 times. And the loser goes home. These guys both got through the group stages, 2 wins, 1 loss. What kind of pizza do you think it is, Ms. Metroid? I wanted to, I was at the grocery store and was gonna buy a sausage pizza today, but they were all out of sausage. Very sad.
Very unfortunate.
Press F in chat for my pizza life. And as expected, Sabin is checking the doing Total Rock next, which means you can full clear it. It's a crystal. Really good chance the bow's in here. There's what, 5 items in here or something like that? There's a lot of items in. And also, as Noctis Vigil points out in chat, it's a good thing they both got Bombos, as Bombos was indeed the amulet required for Total Rock. Chat's talking about pizza now, and I ate dinner and I'm hungry again. Thanks. I've never really tested. Do you know, is it quicker to mirror out of there, or is it the same?
I'm not really sure, honestly.
I see run, yeah, it seems to be a very personal preference thing, and I'm just curious if one of those ways is in fact fast. Hey, Stargazer.
I'm sure one of them is faster.
Hey, Stargazer 1977. Good on you for sticking, dieting is super hard. That's awesome that you've been able to restrain yourself. I mean that completely non-sarcastically. Chain Chomp's not being very nice. Wow, that's super impressive. Good job. I have gained 15 pounds this year. Thanks, quarantine.
Yeah, that'll happen. I've actually lost weight since quarantine. I don't know why. I should eat more. I think because I've been playing more games, that I do tend to forget to eat when I play too long. I basically have to set alarms to remind myself to eat dinner.
Classic gamer. Silver
Yeah.
arrows were found in Hookshot Cave, so that's a nice find for Cantaloupe.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't use progressive bows in combo rando. Otherwise, that would have just been go mode.
Also, Noctis, I feel your pain on giving up soda. I gave up soda last year, but then I just started drinking it again in quarantine because I was depressed and soda makes me happy. As soon as the gym opens back up, I'm going back off the coke. SMZ3 checking out Mimic Cave.
I quit soda every day after I have my daily soda.
I actually really like iced tea, so just drinking unsweet iced tea for me is actually pretty. I get the same amount of joy as Coke for the most part.
That's good.
Cantaloupe did that room the slow way. I assume on accident. Nice dash there with the Kang. Item dashing is super fun to do, also super easy to do. All you gotta do is press essentially both buttons at the same time.
Soon, Big Kev. Soon. Not soon enough, but soon.
Do you mean like full Randomizer that you could find Kraid in like Trinex room?
That would be pretty awesome.
I don't even know how that would work, but it would be pretty awesome.
How much damage does a fire rod shot do to Kraid?
See, these are the questions that we need answered. Devs, get on it. Total, you're amazing. Get on it.
Imagine Kane of Samaria Kraid fight. Ugh.
And Laser Bridge has a map.
It'd be like the warp pipe from SMB2.
Missiles.
You gotta pick it up and chuck it in as an open mount.
More missiles. One chest left. Does it have the bow?
No. What do we have left on Trinex?
That's right. I think there's an item on Trinex.
Yeah, I just saw his pause screen and it does have the map. Oh, dude, Hammer Burrow's suit Kraid fight would be awesome.
Well, the question is, after SMZ3 does this and checks like Hookshot Cave and Super Funny Cave, where does he go? Ice? Hell?
Probably. It seems like the play at this point. I don't know if he's done the Spiral Cave.
I believe he orphaned Spiral Cave, so that could be on his list of things to do too. I think Cantaloupeme did do Spiral Cave though. And Trinex has for us a Ice Beam! You'll take that. Ice Beam saves time and Turian. Good prop.
Ice on Trinex is almost rude. Not quite. I have seen a multi-world with an ice rod on Trinex. It was just someone else's ice rod. Because it can be literally anywhere except Trinex, including someone else's Trinex.
But I really feel after he finishes these checks, it's gotta be Ice Palace. I think he's pretty much cleared up the overworld, and Meyer might have an item left. I'm not sure if he got both in there, but going all the way to Vidi for one item does not feel good.
And Sabin's about to get his silver arrows. That's gonna make the final battle a lot quicker. It's about 20 seconds faster, I think, over just tempered. Or am I thinking of something else? I think that's right.
Cantaloupe's going on a little bit of a tour here. The Turtle Rock maze.
Yeah, little secondary path here. It works. A little bit safer too. A little bit. Only have to deal with one fire bar rather than two.
Cantaloupe's gonna do his laser bridge. He's
Okay.
a much easier time with that mirror shield.
There's that spiral cave from Sabin. Yeah, it's best of one until I believe I don't know if it's the semifinals or just the finals.
Nicholas Metroid, one of the tournament admins in chat, saying that the finals were best of. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you should try to catch one of these races live, and feel free to say hi in chat.
A bit late to catch this one live, unfortunately. Sorry, YouTube.
Very true. Yes, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's definitely a little late to catch this one. That said, you can always find the SpeedGaming schedule on the SpeedGaming website. They have a really nice schedule page that I just keep bookmarked. Cantaloupe taking on Trinex. Oh, yeah, that is a good point. Chat's pointing out that Hammer Pegs is available, Smith Chain's available, Purple Chain's available. Ugh, those are not good, chat.
Oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment if you're watching in 2027.
I'll be impressed if people are still watching this in 2027.
Yeah.
And I just realized I'll be 47 in 2027. I feel old as crap right now, thanks.
Well, you're not... Is it not 2027? Well, I mean, it is for those watching in 2027.
It'll be interesting to see how much, I guess Sabin's gonna do Eastern Palace first. That's gonna be a big waste of time. I was gonna say, it's interesting if he does Palace of Darkness, does he peace out as soon as he checks the bow lock chest? That magic powder will probably draw him back to do the Village of Outcast check. You can cycle that in nicely with the Smith and the Purple Shot.
Yeah, this is pretty... this is really going to benefit Cantaloupe, because he's already done Pod in Eastern, and Sabin's just kind of giving back time.
Yeah, I would expect to see Cantaloupe head to Lower Norfair pretty soon here.
Yeah. We know Ice Palace is the play, I think, at this point. But...
Well, it's either Ice Palace or those Village of Outcast checks.
Right.
If you can do Icebreaker, I would think Icebreaker's probably quicker than the Village of Outcast.
There's 3 items there, but also a crystal that you're gonna have to get. No, it's not a crystal. It's a pendant. Oh. Okay, that changes things entirely. But you will probably get 3 items about as fast as you would get the 2 items from the smith chain.
On Sabin's side, he's got that third item with the powder, though. So, pretty close to a wash, I would think. Meanwhile, Cantaloupe's gonna go down and kill Ridley.
Right. I forgot about powder.
Cantaloupe will save some time with Screw Attack, making worst room in the game so easy. And then he'll be getting his spring ball. Come on, pick it up.
Yeah, it feels like Bo is kind of the new Ice Rod these days. It's not as common for Bo to be gun mode, but definitely much more frequently than the Ice Rod is.
I'm not sure what's it. Oh, okay. This is a very
really
hard
tough.
hover to do because you need to change directions, but he gets it first try.
Yeah, you have to be aligned pixel perfectly to clip through the left side of that railing as well. It's basically a double pixel perfect hover.
Cantaloupe says no to the red boom. It's interesting. I mean, I guess maybe Charge Beam could have been over there, because he knows that he knows the bow won't be over there. Cantaloupe just
True.
use super missiles. Cantaloupe getting a swag spark there.
Yeah, with 43 missiles, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about this Ridley fight.
Yep, 43 missiles, lots of energy tanks. Saving gets the hammer jump. Gets $100. And a map.
And Ridley is down for Cantaloupe. Not really too many obscure checks left. There's just a couple of the major fetch quests and Ice Palace left. Cantaloupe does still have Shack Tool and Plasma Beam checks to do, if he wants. Sabin's already done them though, and they were nothing.
Cantaloupe definitely has a chance if it's the right call as soon as he's done with this, and Sabin makes the wrong call. That could be the difference. I think that we're probably close enough to the Ganon's Tower routing might have a factor on who wins.
Yeah, Sabin's already beaten the 4 Super Metroid bosses, so he's pretty much done with Super.
Where's he going now? You might be right that he did not do that pyramid ledge check, yep. Either that or he's checking to make sure it's not fast cannon.
Right.
I feel like he probably wouldn't have picked that that shield up even if he hadn't done Turtle Rock, but he certainly wasn't going to pick it up having done Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I thought he skipped it. I thought that was like he checked that and he opted to skip it. And then he was about to jump off the pyramid and then walk somewhere, and then he just save and quit instead.
So he's making the Ice Palace play.
Fox is confirming he had already checked the shield on the pyramid.
Probably just forgot to mark it on his track. Better safe than sorry. Cantaloupe says no to the X-ray, which makes sense. He's got no need for.
Well, it's always important to say hi to the Frankersy. And it looks like Sabin is going for the icebreaker. So in order to do icebreaker, you do this and you're through.
He did not hit the switch though.
He did not. Luckily, he finds that big key. He's gonna get a small key under a rock here, and that's enough to use Samaria on the switch downstairs. He has just enough keys to do so. But he's only looking for items, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, Cold Stare could have the item.
It's just that if he's looking for items, he's gonna full clear all of Ice Palace and then go to the boss.
Sure, fair enough.
And he will guaranteed have big key and small key at hand.
That makes
on
sense.
hand.
Alright, and Cantaloupe is heading back into the past. There's our second item in Ice Palace. There's one item. It might be the bow. Cantaloupe, where are you going? Oh man, this is super interesting.
Jeez. Iced tea or cold stare or somewhere else entirely. Cantaloupe is going for the Smith checks, right?
That's what it looks like to me. One of these players is gonna
This is big.
pay off. One of these players is gonna be in a bad spot.
And they're pretty much tied up. Other than the one-off checks that Sabin's already done, they will end up just costing him the time. They have not yet been to Magic Dat, so they are getting a 3 for here.
If Bo is in Ganon's Tower, this seed is incompletable. Bo is hard required to beat Pod. There it is! It's in Hammer Pegs! Cantaloupe is in go mode at 240.21.
Nice. And he's already got the big key, he's just going straight to Helmasaur key. He is opting to return the smithies, hoping to find Charge Beam, I assume.
Might just want to get rid of the follower, maybe. I don't know what happens if you try to go into Pod with this.
It doesn't... Oh, maybe... He might not let you in, actually. That's a good point.
I wouldn't be sure about that, so I would totally finish it just to be. So despite having arguably a decent lead all game, Cantaloupe is the first person in go mode and will be the first person in G.
I'm thinking of entrance shuffle, where you can take him into other entrances, but in normal non-entrance shuffle, you cannot take the frog into doors. You can drop down holes. You could even enter the Ganon fight with the frog with you. But you can't enter any doors. He just won't let you go in. He stays with you until you drop him off or delete him somehow.
So Cantaloupe's gonna have about somewhere between a minute to 2-minute lead. Definitely Ganon's Tower can make that up if one runner gambles and it's right.
For sure, that's about the difference between left and right.
Cantaloupe does have that butter sword, which might make like Land Molus 2 a little fast. And at 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 24 seconds, TheSabin has entered Go mode, so I believe that was about almost exactly 2 minutes after Cantaloupeme.
And Sabin's just save and quitting. Losing a few seconds here. He could have just walked out and fluted.
Cantaloupe lost a few seconds too, because Cantaloupe's fluted to the wrong place, so it's kind of a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, so Sabin should be entering pod pretty close to when Cantaloupe is leaving pod. I think Sabin will get in a little bit before Helmosaur finishes explosion. This is a really exciting end to this match. And just as a reminder, this is an elimination match. The winner of this match goes on. The loser is out. Done with the tournament. There are no second chances. Cantaloupeme taking on Helmosaur as Sabin heads back to fight Helmosaur.
That butter sword already saving time with the one fewer slash.
Let's see here. The item is picked up at 244.22 on Cantaloupe. 244.22, I can remember that. And if you I hear there's a game we like to play, Jagger G. Are you familiar with?
Oh yeah, something about guessing numbers and such. How does that work?
That's right. Get your Ganon Tower big key chest number in chat. 1 through whatever number you want to pick. If you want to say 55, more power to
But there are only 22 possible locations in Ganon's Tower.
I see a 46. I like it.
I usually like to go with 8.
And regardless of who finds it first, since Cantaloupe is the first in GT, we will be going off his opening order. So if there is divergence. Sabin taking a little bit of damage, a little scared.
He's fine with blue mail. 4 sword slashes with tempered. Taking a bit longer.
Yep, and he's gonna get his item at 246. 2. So that's what, a minute and 40-second lead for Cantaloupe? Yeah, 100 seconds. And hurry up and finish up with your guesses, because we're going to be closing the game very short.
I don't know if we have the bot up, but if you guess after this point, you will be banned. Citation needed.
We do not have the bot. Chest 1 is red rupees. Chest 2 is a reserve chest. And Cantaloupe's gonna be going left side.
Alright, just 5 rupees on the torch.
Chest number 4, red rupees. Chest number 5, small key.
That's not quite
Chest
big
number
enough.
6, small key. Chest number 7, missile.
Maybe if you smelt those 2 keys together, you could get a big key.
That seems like it would be worth a shot.
Death room just having some other thing.
That was 8, right?
Yes.
So we're going up to chest number 9 in the fire snake room. Another small key. Now does SMZ3 stay on the right? Nope. He's gonna be following in Cantaloupe's footsteps. So Cantaloupe's gonna have a...
Yeah, you do need a small key to go through past the tile room.
Good point.
You could opt to do tile room.
There you go, big key, and I believe that was 10.
Yeah, but tile room would be a big waste of time today. Unfortunately, no charge beam.
Charge beam probably in tile room.
Yeah. That could be upstairs. We have 4 more chests up there.
Oh, so who guessed 11? Let's see here. I see Omega Wild guessed 11, and I think that was the first one. Congratulations, Omega Wild. You win absolutely nothing!
Wow, congratulations.
Your official Al Gore I Won the Internet trophy will be delivered by 2027. And as Cantaloupe climbs up the gauntlet here one more time, I'm going to ask you guys to please give these runners a follow. This has really been an exciting race, and the finish here is shaping up to be a photo finish. It's going to be close, it's going to be exciting. Take a minute to give these guys a follow on their Twitch, I'm sure they will appreciate it. Also, a big shout out to our tracker WinFox470, who's been doing an amazing job tonight. I will always say tracking is probably the hardest job to do as a volunteer, and he's done a great job at it, so please give him a follow, and give a follow to my co-commentator Jagger G, who's been a pleasure to commentate with.
Likewise. Was that chest 10 or 11? I thought it was chest 10.
I thought it was just 10 too.
You open the front one for
Well,
a second.
WinFox, I can't take the prize back. We already gave it out. Congratulations to Dr. Kosak. You win absolutely nothing because the prize of absolutely nothing was given to the wrong.
Whoops.
I feel like I'm gonna have an awkward conversation with my boss after this about awarding prizes to the wrong people. I will give Chad a shout out. Thanks to all you lovely people that have been watching and enjoying this race with us. Hope everybody's having a nice Monday evening or afternoon, depending on where you are.
Wow, incredible. They're gonna get nothing and a full refund of $0.
That's gonna put us out of business, man. We can't afford that refund.
Jeez.
I see a heart piece and a compass in those two chests.
Maybe we'll just take it out of the prize pool for the tournament.
I defer to Miss Metroid on that. That's above my pay grade. Cantaloupe should make short work of Moldworm too. Yep, 2 slashes and Moldworm's piece. Does not check the validation chest. We'll never know. Charge beam could have been right there. SMZ3 not bothering to check those 2 chests. I'm confused why Cantaloupe checked those 2 chests if he wasn't going to check the Moldworm chest. Like, the Moldworm chest is literally right there. I had a funny situation the other day where the Aga ghost shot the real. Like, I was between the real Aga and the ghost, and I just moved and the shot just friendly fire.
That's nice.
I'd never seen that happen before.
Good job, Bumper. The Bumper is trying to learn how to hover as well.
And that's egging him down for Cantaloupeme and SMZ3 just on.
By the way, that was a pretty good hover, getting across Moldorm 2 as well. It did save a bit of time.
Yeah, SMZ3 is definitely, we'll see what the drop down comes out with. SMZ3 has definitely caught himself up some. So 254 or 20.
And keep in mind, they also have Super Metroid to beat after this as well.
Yep. SMZ3 is definitely still in this.
It's not even over when it's over.
So 36 seconds later, SMZ3 drops down.
Yeah, it's pretty good time savings.
Those runners do need to be careful. Cannon hurts. A death would be bad.
Yeah.
SMZ3's living dangerous. Oh boy.
I'd say. Kinda lucky with those warp patterns.
Cantaloupe gets the torch glitch. And Ganon is down. That was that a quadruple? Like, it's hard to tell with the slideshow, but so he crosses the bridge at 2:56:08.
Unfortunately, SMZ3 is also going to have to activate his plasma beam once he gets into, well, no it won't, because he doesn't actually need plasma beam without charge.
So it looks like time-wise, SMZ3 didn't gain any, but he didn't, Cantaloupeme didn't lose. It's gonna be pretty close to still that 36 seconds.
And G to each of these players so far. Yeah, that's definitely a healthy ammo count. A lot more ammo from this SMZ3, but that's enough for Cantaloupe. Although those few supers difference could cost him some time.
Yeah, and it's not a huge margin of error.
Each super missile is worth 3 missiles, so every super he's short is gonna cost another 3 shots with missiles.
And how many supers is it from Other Brain 2? Is it 60?
Phase 2 is 60. Phase 1, I actually forget about phase 1. But you typically want to use regular missiles on phase 1 anyway.
Right. I would have liked to see SMZ3 turn off his screw attack while he was in there turning on his plasma.
The glass itself takes a certain number of hits to break, whereas Mother Brain has actual HP value, and she can only die once the glass is broken anyway. So it's a bit tricky when you want to use supers.
Cantaloupe turns off both of his suits and the screw attack. But Cantaloupe not even going for baby skip. Remembering to face right. Hard to tell if SMZ3 is going to attempt baby skip. I mean, he didn't turn his suits off, which makes me think yes. I don't really think that was an attempt though. Alright, Cantaloupe, gonna go for the Zebatites. Gets it very quickly, good. SMZ3 refilling his energy. Cantaloupe gets to the tank.
And so the first phase has 3,000 health, so it takes 10 supers to drain the health. But it also needs to be struck 12 times for the glass to break before it dies.
SMZ3 going for his Zebetite skip, gets it super quick. Cantaloupe on the Mother Brain phase 2. So this is gonna be tight. That said, I think Cantaloupe, barring some kind of disaster, has this. I just don't think there's enough time that SMZ3 can make up because neither of them can do stand up.
Yeah, that's true. You can save some time by reducing lag by shooting your point blank with the hyper beam. You can lose a lot of time by using missiles instead of supers. I think the firing rate for missiles is faster, but it only does 1/3 as much damage, so.
SMZ3 opted to shoot a lot of missiles into Motherboard. Not sure that I agree with that strategy.
Actually, maybe I should double check the firing rates. I don't know if it lists it here in the wiki.
Baby dead on Cantaloupe's side.
Okay, yeah, you can fire about 2 super missiles at the rate that you fire ones, or about 2 missiles at the rate of 1 super.
Mother brain down for Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe about to start their escape. SMZ3 about to start their Mother Brain phase 3. SMZ3 gets Mother Brain down. It always amazes me with how long this game is when the match comes down to just seconds like.
Yeah.
I mean, SMZ has raced a hell of a race. It's just unfortunate that he did the Ice Palace gamble, and Cantaloupe did the Smith's chain gamble, and the Smith chain gamble was the right choice, and SMZ chose the wrong.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately,
there's no way he could.
Plasma didn't pay off, Shack Tool didn't pay off. Catfish did pay off.
And finishing with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 5 seconds, and 25 seconds is Cantaloupeme in the first place. He will be advancing to face Pizza. Congratulations, so 2 GGs in chat for him.
Nice.
And we'll see, is SMZ3 gonna save the animals? Please do give SMZ3 a follow. He put up a hell of a race, and I'm sure that
he is. Okay.
Hello.
We welcome in our. We'll try to get both races in here as well. We got Cantaloupeme. Congratulations on your victory.
Oh, I'm still shaking after that one.
That was close.
How far behind did you feel after you double dipped defended Eastern Palace and got nothing?
I felt I was way behind. That's why I was orphaning some checks. That's why I didn't go back into Hera. You know, I had to take some chances, and you know, that's why I just left a few checks here and there. I was like, hey, if I know I'm behind. I mean, I didn't even think about Norfair, Bubble Mountain. I didn't think about it until right then when I went. I was like, oh boy, I'm definitely behind.
And finishing in second place with unofficial SRL time is TheSabin, 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 35 seconds. Yeah, I mean the honest truth is you were pretty much behind the entire match.
Mm-hmm.
It just came down to Sabin did Ice Palace and you did the Thieves Chain.
Right.
It was real close.
Or Smith Chain, rather.
Yeah, my next play was Ice Palace after that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I
welcome
saw
Sabin as well.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello. Yeah, GG, man.
That was a very exciting race to watch.
Yeah, well, I kind of cleared all Super Metroid in ALTTP, and the bow was the last check, really. That well, it was the blacksmith sequence, the blacksmith sequence that I had left, and that's where the bow was. So yeah.
Yeah, the bow was both of your guys' go mode.
At least for me, yeah.
You both got the mitts at pretty close to the same time.
And you didn't even get to Divergent GT either because there was no small key right side. Were either of you considering?
I was debating it, and then once I didn't see the small key, I was like, nope.
I was not considering it because I think I was based on I was actually getting the boots early on in the seed in the LTTP is a big advantage for me. So I was betting on having more execution points on that race. So I didn't go for right side GT because I thought I kind of knew I was behind, but I guess I was hoping that Cantaloupeme was did the same bet as me, basically.
Well, my big mistake was not figuring out going to Bubble Mountain early. I double dipped Eastern because I left an item. Then when I got the torch, I was like, well, maybe it was in there. And I just didn't do it in the dark, so I went back and did it. And then I did Red Tower first, and then Bubble Mountain clicked in my head, and I just did that, and then. The only thing I could say I did good in this run was my lower Norfair. I was really pleased with how well I breezed through it. Other than that, there was a lot of mistakes, but just got lucky with that bow.
Yeah, my Super Metroid was pretty smooth as well. I was able to route correctly with 5 power bombs, like a lot of stuff. I went to Ridley early when I got the gravity right away. Yeah. I don't know where charge was, but yeah.
Yeah, I never found charge either. I bet you it was somewhere deep in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, it has to be or the rest of the blacksmith's chain, somewhere in there. The blue chest, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, blue chest or
Neither of you checked Smith himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped. Go ahead.
I bet you we both dropped off Jeremiah and said bye.
Yeah, exactly. I went into the house and I dropped him, and Sabin quit. Yeah, I didn't even check what he had.
Nope. Because at that point, I know we both had plenty of stupors, and we could easily get through. Mother Brain and everything, and with all the beam, with Ice and Wave, that's the only way I know how to do Zep Skip. With that, I don't know how to do it with the speed boost. So, once I got that, I felt a lot more comfortable. But yeah, it was. I gotta watch that one back. That seems like a hell of a watch.
I was gonna say, I recommend. I mean, it's really, yeah. I would recommend both of you guys watch that back because it was a heck of a.
Yeah, quite a lot of divergences with the choices you guys had, and you basically just covered each other's paths a lot of the time.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be something of that nature with the way, some of the later items were. I was like, well, he's probably just because there was some stuff I skipped, and then I liked the top of Bubble Mountain. I ended up going back there after Lower Norfair because after I got Morph Ball, I totally forgot about the rest of Bubble Mountain up there. I just said, screw it, I'm going. And then once I left, I was like, oh crap, I orphaned those 2 checks.
Yeah. Speaking of skipping checks, TheSabin, you went to the pyramid and you saw that shield and noped out, and you save and quit instead of checking catfish, I believe you had available at the time.
Well, I checked the. I already went into catfish, but when I did the pyramid, it was my second visit, and I didn't pick up the mirror shield because I don't like how it lags the game. So that's why I skipped the gold sword as well.
Was it you, Cantaloupe, that I thought one of you had checked pyramid, and then well before either of you checked catfish?
It was me. I checked it.
Oh, okay.
I checked it early, and the reason why I didn't do catfish was because I was trying to set that up so I could do that and take care of the waterfall at the same time, or get the mushrooms, so I could at least get more than one thing on the way. And I was sort of kicking myself, but when I started doing the checks after I got not Titesmith, but after I did King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge, I was like, well, I'm just going to make my way to catfish at this point, and that's when it went ding ding. I'm like, okay, let's roll.
Yeah, that was pretty good finding those myths. Later put off some of the myths checks as well, just giving you the ability to just go straight to pod after finding that bow.
Yeah, the double. I didn't like the double dip pod. I thought that was going to put me a little bit behind, but I figured with the amount of checks out there that SMZ3 probably went into pod as well.
Yeah, I double dip pod and I went into Eastern.
Yeah, but yeah, I was going to make that Ice Palace play myself if the Smith chain didn't pay off, and but luckily I was hammering away, and I was like, oh, there's a nice little bow in there.
Yeah. So any other thoughts you guys had about the seed or SMZ3 in general?
I like the early boots. Big fan.
Yep, early boots are really nice. Speed Booster wasn't too late, but yeah, I mean, it just makes it for a lot faster, and getting pretty decently early Tempered Sword helps a lot with the combat later. And I mean, overall, it really wasn't a bad seed. Just the beginning was a little funky. After that, it leveled out pretty well.
I do want to point out for those folks still hanging around that Lachlan versus Ninja Bro is going on SpeedGaming Prime. There's about an hour into that match. So
Nice.
if you want more SMZ3, you can head over there. So did either of you guys have anything you wanted to add?
I'm good. Thanks, SMZ3, for a good race. I love close races, no matter the outcome.
Yeah, that was a good seed and a close race, and I hope the restream appreciated.
Gets the blood flowing. I love get that heart pumping at the end.
Yep, so please give these guys a follow. TheSabin and Cantaloupeme. Whatever. How do you say-
Cantaloupeme.
Cantaloupeme. Okay.
Yeah, I had to change it from a name that I can't say on here. Most people know what my old name was, but I became a piece of fruit. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyways, follow both of our runners. It was an excellent and exciting race. Please follow our tracker, WinFox470, and give Jagger G a follow too. And if you really want to, you can follow me. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Oh no, follow you too. Come on. Follow everybody.
Follow
Alright,
all
well,
of the people.
We're gonna, I think, wrap this up. Hope everybody has a good night. Thanks again for an exciting race. And coming up on this channel in a bit will be a Zelda 1 randomizer.
Yeah. Catch you guys later.
Good night, everybody.